Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today, I'm going to review the DePetz magnetic cat flap door. This is the door that I plan on putting it on. It's a steel door, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of a core is in here. I'm guessing it's just foam, and I don't think it's going to distort or anything when I put the door in, but we're going to find that out. I have to paint this anyways. This door came primed like this, and I'm going to be painting it black on that side and white on this side. And I'm going to be taking it off the hinges. We'll put it on some sawhorses and get that done. I think I'll probably have to just cover the opening with plastic for a couple days because I want the white paint to dry before I put the black paint on. That's another kind of a problem. We'll figure that all out as we go. But this, I haven't opened this yet. I'm sure that it has a nice template in it. So we'll open this up and find out. There shouldn't be very much to this. 2 halves and 4 screws that hold the 2 halves together, but it may need a little more assembly than that. We'll see. No. Empty box. Oh, that looks really nice. It's not super thick, but it's not like flimsy or anything. I guess it's locked in place. Well, oh. Read the instructions. All right. Well, let's get this half. I need this to go both ways because I want the cats to be able to come into the shop when they need to, but they're going to need to be able to get out again as well. And hopefully it does that. Okay. With both the red and the green, it swings both ways. And if you lock the green, it only goes in, and vice versa. If you only lock the red, they can only go out, which would seem pretty cruel. Lock your cat out. Okay, that will work. And here is the template. So what I have to do, I'm going to cut the hole first and then do my painting. So yeah, they just show a jigsaw here. When you're cutting thinner metal like this, you have to use the right blade. Let me show you the blade that you're going to use. You want to use a blade for very thin metal, not just thin metal and not just metal, very thin metal. Otherwise it's going to grab on it and it'll put little dents all around the edges of your hole. So I'll put a link to these below if I can find them online. I should be able to. I'll put a link to these below, as well as the cat door and anything else I use. And for now, let's get that door off. Okay, now we're going to trace the template onto the door. I got to cut it out first. It says 10 to 15 centimeters from the floor. This is at floor level on the inside. The outside, that would make it, oh, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 inches. But that's what we're going to do. I don't want this thing too close to the bottom because there's a wood frame that goes around the whole outside, and I believe that that's 4 or 5 inches at the bottom, and I would rather not lose the strength in the door. If you have a raised panel door, you really don't want to put this in it unless you can go right through one of the panels with maybe a smaller one, but I wouldn't do it at all on a raised panel door. I would only do this on a solid door like this, a slab door. I'm measuring from the bottom of the metal itself, not this rubber, because you're going to get a bad measurement that way. I'm going 5.5 inches, which will make it 6 inches to the bottom. And I'm going to go 5.5 inches on this side as well. And you can use any straight edge to connect the two lines. And you only need it in the middle. That is our center right there. I'm just going to hold it in place, and we're going to do the top line just like I did the bottom line. All I'm really trying to get is these rounded corners. I'll draw the other lines with a straight edge. Okay, this top line is at 14 3/16. So just mark that over there. And take the straight edge again and connect the two lines. Now I'll measure over. We're at 12 1/4. Go 12 1/4 up at the top. This will give you a lot nicer lines than trying to trace a floppy template like that. One thing you need to do is take your jigsaw with the blade that you plan on using and hold it up to the edge and make sure that it's going to go all the way through the door. If it doesn't go all the way through the door, it's just going to bang up against this backside if it's just a little bit too short. This is just barely there. So I'm hoping we don't have any problems. I don't think we will, but it's definitely a possibility. All right, the instructions are a little bit goofy right here. It says to take a drill and drill a hole at each corner, and then in parentheses, drill one hole on one of the 4 corners first. Well, obviously, then drill the rest of the corners. Of course, you're going to start with one of the holes. You have to drill at least one of the holes so that it's going to fit your bit. And you want to get that one right at the edge of your line. I'll probably do it at the bottom. And on this, I'm not exactly sure how well this blade will go around the corner, but drilling a hole at this corner is not going to help anything. So I think we're going to drill one hole down here and a smaller hole at each one of these corners. Then I'll stop the blade right there. Actually, I would have to drill a bigger one at both places, or just use this bigger one up here. Let me look at the door itself and see if it has enough clearance to use this big bit here, here, and here. Okay, if we place this on here, yeah, that should work. All right, 3 holes it is. Okay, and put a little bit of a dimple right where we want our drill to go. This is really thin metal. Hopefully this does not mess up the door. We'll find out. You really got to drill this straight through. I could use a drill guide, but I don't have one right now. It's just foam in there. I'm not hitting the wood. If you're doing a steel door like this, you want to use a brush and not your hand, because there's very sharp stuff there. Okay, here goes nothing. Make sure you have a really firm grip on the jigsaw. We're going to set it at its highest speed, and here we go. Yep, need a longer blade. Rather than run all the way to town, what I'm going to do is just shim up the bottom so that this doesn't penetrate all the way through, and then I'll use the holes on the other side to draw the pattern on the other side, and I'll cut it from both sides. They give you plenty of play with the hole size, but we should be pretty close to right on the money. Now we're going to flip it over and cut it from the other side. The things we go through for cats. Okay. Lather, rinse, and repeat. if you're not painting your door, you can install the unit right now. This is the outside, and it matches up with this inside unit. Like that, and then you screw it to the door. But I'm painting this, so I'm just going to take a little bit of sandpaper to these sharp edges and get it painted. Then we'll install the door itself. Okay, I got my door painted and I'm ready to install this. I actually used the instructions to mask off that hole, but looking at this, it's got a gasket on one side and the other side does not have a gasket. And the way it fits into each other, it would really seem like this part went outside. And also, the gasket does not come together, so this is going to leak. I mean, it's going to leak into itself, but then it's going to hold water at the bottom. Water's going to come in, drip around, and be captured by the gasket here, unless this went on the outside, which would seem to make more sense, but this side does not have a gasket. I guess. Yeah, see, that doesn't make any sense either, because if you had this on the outside, water's going to come into here, it's going to go under here, and into here. This is actually the bottom, and it's going to drip right into the house. This thing is not making sense. This would have to be the inside. I'm going to go look at their instructions online. Let's look at this picture here. This thing really looks like it's going to leak. Weatherproof? I don't think so. Made in China, DePetz magnetic cat flap door. All right, I'm going to look online and get some, oh, here they are. I got enough to read. Beautiful. Okay, what I did was removed the gasket and turned it around. Yeah, that made 0 sense. If somebody just put this on, rainwater would collect at the top of this, go right through that little gap, and this part of it would transfer it to the inside, and you would have water going into your house. That is really stupid. This way, any water that gets in here will end up going out the gap. Okay, and these controls really have to be on the outside. This is the only part with the gasket on, so this really needs to go outside. Otherwise, again, you're going to have water coming in. Got a few design issues with this. And the screws, these are wood screws, and this says that it's good for wood, glass, plastic, wall, and metal. So I don't know if you've ever tried putting wood screws through metal. You're going to have to pre-drill no matter what, but that can be kind of difficult. I'm going to go see if I have this size in sheet metal screws, and I'll be right back. I would much rather use sheet metal screws. We're going to pre-drill no matter what, but I guess these self-adhesive foam are for putting this on glass. But yeah, I think it would leak like hell on glass. Okay. Also, this gasket is not rubber. This is one of those cheaper foam gaskets. So, I don't know. I think it's going to work. It had good reviews, but you never know with the reviews on Amazon whether they're real or not. Okay, let's go look for some sheet metal screws for this and get this door on. It's actually raining out there right now, and I have a door off, so let's try to get this on as quick as possible. Oh, and you really can't tell on this image. I don't know if they're trying to show the door facing in or out. And then we have one here that looks like it's on the outside, but it doesn't show the bottom, so you really can't tell. Well, actually, it does not say D-Pets or whatever on it, but again, I don't think this should go on the outside because, as I said before, not only is it going to leak, you could caulk this and try to stop the leaking that way, but then it's going to look messy. I mean, a bead of caulk on here would look messy. They should have one of these seals on both sides. I would much rather have this look on the outside. I could take the inside off and paint this black if I wanted to. I don't know. It's not in a real critical area, so let me go get them screws and we'll see. Okay, I'm just going to put this on the way that I think it should go on, with the gasket towards the outside. The instructions don't say anything about pre-drilling the holes, but you have to pre-drill no matter what. Whether it's wood or metal, you really need to pre-drill. The instructions actually say that it comes with 8 screws, and the screws are not too short, and to use a jigsaw to install them. So the instructions are kind of worthless. And you want your drill size to be a little bit smaller than the shank size. Not the thread size, but the shank size, which this is a good deal smaller. And these appear to be sheet metal screws. On this outside one, if it is the outside. The holes are the same size as the outside of the screw. So if you don't hold it down nice and tight, the threads of the screw will walk it up. It'll lift it up, and you're going to have all kinds of problems. Got these little caps. Okay, I got the door installed, and you can see that this is not hitting anything, but this no longer works. It does not swing in without hitting it pretty hard. Okay, I've been messing with this thing for nearly an hour now, and I finally got it so that it opens and closes. But it was real difficult. You have to just barely tighten these screws. I don't know if it's going to leak or not. I don't know if I would recommend this DePetz brand. I did the research on Amazon, and this had good reviews, but the reviews on Amazon, a lot of times they're faked. So I don't know if the reviews were good or not. It's working now. We'll see if it leaks. Yeah, you'll have to stay on touch on this one. If you know of a high quality, which I thought this was, if you know of a high quality cat door, put it in the comments below. I'd like to hear about it. And if you subscribe, we're going to get back to this. I'll tell you how it's working over a year and 2 years, if it's even still installed and I don't have to patch my door. So make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.